Hey folks, welcome to the channel. In today's build, we're going to redo one of my early knives. This is one I did a video on a couple of weeks ago, just critiquing one of my really early knives. And this was for the best man at my wedding. And today we're going to refinish this knife and redo it. Let's go check it out. So in that review video I did critiquing this knife, a bunch of people said, hey, why don't you just redo the knife for him and refinish it? And I actually answered a few people saying, oh, it's hopeless. I was mainly concerned about the heat treat, because you can see there's already some chipping. I just went and hammered this through some wood, and just after a couple of swings, it's kind of dulled right here. So I know the heat treat is just crap on this. So I'm going to have to reheat treat it, but then again, it's really thick. So I need to thin it out anyway. The only other thing that I'm concerned about, the handle drops from the spine here, I'm concerned where the tang is. I may have to take a little bit of off the knife on the top just to recenter the tang. But I won't know until I bust off this handle and the pommel and see what I'm working with. It's been a while, so I don't really remember what this profile looks like. The handle and pommel are actually epoxied on this knife, so in order to bust them off, I'm going to use the induction forge just so I can heat up the pommel and the tang inside. I couldn't get the handle off with the induction forge, and I didn't want to go through a bunch of smoke, so I ended up just hitting it with a hammer. But you'll see I have a few issues. Well, that is certainly not what we wanted. Goes to show you how bad the heat treat was on this knife. I wasn't even hitting it that hard to get the handle off. So, we're just going to have to weld this back on. I'm going to bevel the edges, chamfer the edges so we get lots of penetration on that weld. And now I see that the spine is quite a bit higher than this tang. Which concerns me. I think after we weld this, probably going to have to surface grind this. I don't think we can get down to this level to kind of take out this fuller. So it's kind of a tricky spot because I can take this down a little bit, but because of the fuller here, I don't know. I'm going to have to think what I'm going to do. But let's get this welded up. So I'm going to normalize this blade in the oven. I got some anti-scale on it just to reduce the scale. So I've normalized this. I just went to the grinder and ground down the weld here just so I could put it on the surface grinder. But before I do that, I'm actually going to go to the induction forge and heat this up and just kind of move the tang so it drops a little. It's just a little too straight for my current style. So let's go do that. So I got it all surface ground, much thinner. We did sacrifice, of course, some of the Damascus here, but that's inevitable. So let's talk about what we're going to do here. So one of the issues is that the tang is too far from the top, so we need to reduce this, and of course I just don't like this profile. So let's take one of mine, my current ones, and I think we're going to do something like this. Yeah, just take this part off, take this off, and then it'll be a thinner blade, but we'll move this up, we'll put a little recurve in it. I think that'll do it. Since the original blade had a fuller in it, I figured I would repeat that, so here I am at the mill for putting a new fuller in. I've already ground the new profile into the knife, and now I'm going to grind that false edge on the top. So here's the blade after a bunch of work. You can see it's been profiled. I put the fullers in. Decided to just trail them off the front here. I think we're going to make the bevels come all the way up to here, so that'll give it an interesting effect. I didn't do a lot of pre-heat treat grinding because the center line of the blade was off by so much. I just tried to roughly match the bevels. I think I'm going to be using the straightening hammer and moving this blade around after heat treat because it's just not centered right now. After some cycles in the oven, we're ready for the quench. Let's see if it skates a 65 HRC file. Success. It's good and hard. Now it's time to regrind the bevels. So here's the blade after doing the final grinding. It's nice and thin. It's not perfect, but I'll fix it up with hand sanding. Right now, I need to clean up the fuller here, so we're going to just take our trusty Dremel and clean that up a little bit. So I've got the blade sanded to 800 grit, and I am ready to start working on the other pieces. For the guard, we're going to be using stainless steel. So I have this piece of 316 stainless I'm going to cut the guard out of. And then I've chosen this for the handle. I don't exactly remember what this is, but it's a nice kind of curly piece. And then I'm going to use just some of this Chechen, which is just dark, and it kind of stands off nicely against this, with some white G10 on either side of this. So I think that'll show it off really well. So let's go to slotting the guard. To get the best fit, we undersize the slot just a little bit and then hammer it on. So we got a really nice fit up on the guard. Now we'll start working on the handle. So now that I got all the pieces together, I made this bolster, put the white G10 on either side. Fits nice and tight. I drilled the handle and bedded it with epoxy and squared it all up. So we are all ready. Now I'm going to cut the profile of the handle, then we'll drill the hole. And now I move back to the guard and grind it from a block into something a little more usable for the knife. And now I'm going to put a little profile in the handle. We call this a Coke bottle handle. All right, I got everything sanded to 1,000. The handle's done. Ready to etch this thing in acid and then glue it up. You'll see it in the glamour shots. Okay, I'm here with Dan for the knife reveal. He hasn't seen this, and he knows what the old one looks like. Go ahead and open it.
All right, here we go.
It had a little transformation.
Oh, goodness. Holy cow.
So that is the same knife.
Beautiful.
I just put it on a diet and gave it a new handle, new guard.
It looks gorgeous.
And it's extremely sharp.
I won't test it on my fingers. Beautiful. Gorgeous, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I love it.
See the engraving on the other side?
No. Which on the, oh. Still the what?
It says still the best man.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's awesome. That is awesome.